The main reason for me to buy a house here is economic, of course. Also, of course, there are bonuses. There are more things, more reasons to come to live here. The government also gives incentives in very good conditions for people who buy houses in the settlements. Most of the people, including my friends, including me a few years ago, as I said, are not aware of this fact, living in occupied territories.
I was reading today that Mr. Rumsfeld used to refer to them as the so-called occupied Palestinian territories, but it's not so-called and it's not disputed, says the World Court.
The International Court of Justice calls it a wall. In some areas, it is indeed a 25-foot-high concrete wall, while in other areas, it is a fence surrounded by razor wire, trenches, patrol roads, and surveillance cameras. Palestinians call it an apartheid wall. Israelis call it a security fence. Look at what's happened to the city and surrounding villages, how they've been choked, cut off from each other, Palestinian from Palestinian, caged in by surrounding walls and fences, separated from their livelihood, their land. The farmers of Qalqilia have become landless.
هذا الجدار برك من نص الأرض قسم الأرض قسمين وكلع كل زيتون وخرب الأرض كلها.
الله ولا هذا رزقتنا ما الناس إشي يعني هناك إلا هالقطعة.
The tree for us as Palestinians is alive. We will keep planting and we will keep on living.
The wall, of course, does not stop in Qalqilia. Its path continues 22 kilometers deep inside the West Bank, encircling and annexing the settlement block of Ariel. The Ariel block splits the West Bank into almost two pieces. It creates small enclaves of isolated Palestinian communities and destroys any chance of having a future contiguous state of Palestine. The wall continues its path, encircling and annexing more settlements and more Palestinian land, while devastating many farming communities in its path. The story of the wall is a long and painful one, and it continues on to the city most devastated by the wall, Jerusalem, and its twin city, Bethlehem. Upon completion of the wall in Jerusalem, tens of thousands of Palestinians will find themselves outside the walls of the city, cut off from their city and their livelihood. By doing this, Israel will have succeeded in changing the demographic makeup of the holy city.
You have more Israelis living today in Palestinian East Jerusalem in settlements than you have Palestinians. And here is where Jerusalem is really the heart of the struggle, in a sense. Because without Jerusalem, you don't have a viable Palestinian state. And without the settlements around Jerusalem, Israel can't really control the entire area that it wants to control forever. So Jerusalem is really the key.
We're often told that the question of East Jerusalem is, apart from the question of the refugees, the most complicated to resolve at the practical level. But legally, there is no issue at all. How did Israel acquire East Jerusalem? It acquired East Jerusalem in exactly the same manner as it acquired the West Bank and Gaza. It acquired East Jerusalem in the course of a war. And under international law, it's inadmissible to acquire territory by war. Why do I mention it? Because when you come to the World Court advisory opinion, the vote wasn't close at all. It was 14-1.